And this is the final evaluation.
Yes, my shirt still says Falcons.
Yeah. We had to do things same day. Okay.
Okay, so this one, I didn't realize this was I was like, oh, it's all the standards on there, so you kind of review of that one, which I kind of liked, because I got to revisit and like see how you've grown in that, because I don't remember what you got on standard 1 or whatever, but I kind of graded you in what I see now. For standard 1 in student development, I definitely felt like you're a proficient now. I don't remember what you were at the beginning, but I feel like you've really grown in that area. I feel like you started out because you weren't sure of how. I thought at the beginning you were behind the PowerPoint, and you didn't want to go out of your comfort zone with different learning experiences, because that's all you'd known was what you were taught and different things. And teaching has changed so much since we were in school. We haven't been out of school that long.
No, but our memories become foggy, and we're up there in front of the kids now, and it's like, don't kill me.
Yes, exactly. The kids are vicious these days sometimes.
Yes, they are.
And so, I feel like you've really gone in the area. You've gone through different challenges with the kids, specifically. Those behavioral challenges. I mean, they aren't the worst kids I've ever seen, but they can be trying sometimes, especially some of them. And so, handling those things and then challenging them, finding ways to help them and help them succeed, and helping them develop as students and as people was really, I feel like you're a professional at that, because I feel like you've worked on that, and I can see the growth that you've gone through that. Moves wrong way. For standard 2 learning differences, I also gave you proficient on that. I think that you do a really good job with the lower ones. You did a fantastic job. I think every week I've gone back to this, but when we're doing the races station, you plan all of that a specific way, but you recognize the flip switch. You're like, oh, the low class, I could see exactly what they're missing, and you adapted your curriculum and your lesson for the next week. You're like, I need to go back and do this a different way, because they weren't getting it, because they weren't going as deeper. The only thing I think you probably need to work on is just the gifted students, and like figuring out, because ironically sometimes it's kind of hard because you were a gifted student. You're like, okay, how did I get myself challenged? And I think you went in that step yesterday when you did the logic puzzles. I think a little bit, because you're like, this is more challenging. But you also recognize in the last class, we ran out of time anyway.
They wouldn't have done it. So yeah, they could not have done those logic puzzles.
No, but you recognize that. I think I was like, you try it. I mean, someone probably likes trying it, but you recognize that.
And we thankfully ran out of time.
Yeah. They would have been like, huh? Mm-hmm. But I think, honestly, I think Colin would have enjoyed that.
Oh.
I mean,
yeah,
he had the meltdown yesterday, but
JT probably would have liked it too, and Lena and Lee, but other people would have gone, what?
Yeah. Like, I don't get how, they probably wouldn't understand how, change the X to the...
What do I do? X, green circle, what do these mean?
Bless her little hearts.
Yes.
Bless them. But you put that in there to challenge those other kids, especially in that second and third period class, because we have kids that are really high in there. So it really challenged them, and it helped the other kids. And then they started cheating.
I think I noticed a few of them were cheating, and was like, damn it!
I was like, yeah.
That's not how you do it!
No.
Lily had put it on the highest score, but she was going through and clicking random ones, and then she's like, clear all errors. And so statistically, she got some right, and then she would go back through until she got them all, and was like,
hey, that shows giftedness right there, how to cheat, right?
Yeah, gifted cheat.
I had this kid. Sorry, I'm going to go side note just a second.
I don't care.
So, you know the Nitro type game?
Yes.
So I had a kid, my first year teaching, who was probably worse than Colin. He was awful. But I really, really worked with him to try to build that relationship with him. Mm-hmm. One time he made a crossbow in the middle of class and was shooting a Capri Sun and stuff. Really, how he was able to make a crossbow out of pencils? The first day he was shaving in them. And I was like, you know what? He's quiet today. He's one of the kids, if he's quiet, you're happy. Otherwise, he's, verbally, aggressive. He's 10 times worse. But anyway. So, he is highly intelligent, though.
And Nitro type?
No, and any computers. Because he found out how to hack into the actual, programming.
Oh, and no.
He's banned from Nitro type because he made it type for him because he went through the coding.
That's amazing.
Brilliant kid. And I'm like, you're this brilliant and you can't spell the word this because you don't care. So they're going, I don't even know how to find the coding on the stupid things. He found the coding for the website and made it type for him.
Mariah.
So they found about it and he's been one of those kids that was like suspended several times for various things, yelling at a teacher, and like he was awful. But I tried to establish that relationship with him, and I got to the point where, like with the crossbow episode, where he like shared the pencils one day, and next day he made a crossbow out of those pencils. I was like, how do you know how to make this? He was sitting there shooting at his desk, and it was working with the sharpened pencil. And I was like, okay, this is actually pretty ingenious, you know.
But you can kill people.
But if something happens, if you get scared or whatever, when you're doing this, you might actually like hit somebody with your sharpened pencil, and like, you know, I'm not gonna take it away from you, but just put it down. I need to eventually put it down. I think you got to take it away later in the day, but it was fine. But you know, like that, because I'd built that relationship, after I talked to him for about 5-10 minutes about it, he put it away and didn't do anything the rest of the class, but he was quiet. And so I was like, okay. Step 1. Anyway, moving on. Standard 3 learning environments put you on standing there because you always try to have that positive social interaction, active engagement in learning, and self-motivation. Even if maybe you recognize, okay, I had a kid put his head down. Kid's probably tired, might have a headache, or there might be a multitude of reasons. But you recognize, okay, well, what I was doing wasn't, I needed to change something up. Or I need to, or even in the second and third period class, you realize they weren't as engaged as they might have been. You changed it for the last class because you knew, like, their own special kind of something. And so you recognize that, and you made it a safe environment. You used a collaboration between the kids, and you talked to the kids, worked them through problems and different like that. So I gave you outstanding for that. And standard 4, content knowledge. I wanted to put you at standing of this because I think you have a great grasp on content knowledge. But I think the tools of inquiry and the making it attainable to all students.
Yeah,
that's why
I get that.
That's why I put you at proficient, because I feel like you're very knowledgeable in English language arts and reading.
But tailoring it, I'm still learning.
Tailoring it to like the middle school kids, it's just difficult sometimes. Where I love grammar and I like that, but I know like they don't care much about that. And like a lot of times, like, I read the same things they read, and I know you've read, Hunger Games and stuff like that too, but I don't like going in deeper because I don't understand the deeper stuff. So I'm like, this is why middle school works for me, because I can just keep it at that surface level type deal. So maybe just tailoring it to those kids, and some kids you can go deeper. Zach probably would understand a lot more.
Zach is telling me already the things. And it's like, I don't have to prompt you. You just tell.
Yeah. So I mean, it just depends on the kid and different things like that. But that's why I gave you at proficient at that one. Same thing for the application of content. I feel like that was kind of the same-ish standard. So for the same reasons, I gave you that one. Standard 6 in assessment. I think you really improved in your assessments throughout. You kind of just did the kind of one kind of method of different things. You didn't do like the formative, like on your feet type thing, like the thumbs at first. But once I told you that stuff, you're like, hey, who understands this? You kind of went back and you checked for understanding before you did some things. And before you moved on, you use a different variety of assessments. We've made quizzes. You've done project type deal. So that's why I put you at proficient, because I think you're growing in that area.
As long as I'm growing.
Yes, you're growing. I think you're definitely growing, whatever, all of this actually. For planning for instruction, I put outstanding. You always put forth so much effort into planning what you're going to be teaching. You find all these resources. You try to find ways to not only engage the students, but to enhance their skills, find something that they're going to like, and whatnot. It's just like the tailoring to the school, like the level they're at, is the only thing. But I still gave you a standing for this one because it didn't have too much about that part of it.
Right.
But you always are trying to create a rigorous environment, and I think you've always done that. For standard 8 instructional strategies, I also gave you outstanding in this one because I think you've learned, and I think you've grown in this specific area. You've taken whatever I've given you and my ideas, and you've taken it and you run with them. And the one day we played Jeopardy in the second and third period class, and you were like, "That's totally flopped. I hate kids are yelling at each other." But you thought on your feet. I was like, just change it up. Whatever, not be able to do that. And you took it in 6th and 7th period and created a whole new game. It was still Jeopardy, but you had each group have a whiteboard, and then you had them do it on the board, and you took it and you worked on your feet there. And so ever since then, I've seen you grow with that exponentially. I've had to help you a little bit, just give you ideas, but that you're a student teacher. You're still learning. And so I don't think that's a bad thing.
And I've only been doing this for 3 months.
Yes. And so that's why I feel like this one, I feel like I conflict myself on a couple of these, but I feel like you've grown more in this one, where the other one was just, I don't know. Never mind.
I get it.
You get what I'm saying?
I think my teacher gets it.
Okay, good. I hope so. Because I feel like in my head it makes complete sense.
No, I'm sure Katina's going to watch this, and hi, Katina. She's going to be like, yeah, no, I get this.
Okay, good. Professional learning and ethical practice. I put you at proficient. Ethically, like, I think you're good to go. Professional learning opportunities, you go out and you sure saw those videos, whatever. I think maybe it's coming to more things at the school. I think we talked about this actually with Standard Name.
Yeah.
With that kind of stuff would really have helped you see kind of how the school works. Maybe it wouldn't have been applicable to go through a thinking maps for you, maybe, but it would have been cool to kind of see how an actual faculty meeting works. I'm sorry, the one you tried to come to was the Christmas party one. I didn't even know. I thought we were all in trouble that day. So we weren't, but I thought we were. Standard 10, leadership and collaboration. I put you at proficient as that one. I think you did take responsibility for student growth, and you did collaborate, and you advanced, and you did all of those things. I think you could have gone more above and beyond. Because the part where it says seek leadership roles and opportunities, maybe seeking that kind of thing. As a student teacher, it's really hard to do that because you're like, I'm learning everything, and even your first year teaching, you're still learning.
Yeah.
And so there's opportunities, I guess, for that, but I think it's even best just to get a proficient on this one because you do everything you can, but you're also still learning.
Okay.
And I think that
makes sense.
That's one thing for me. Like, I like to just learn, and I'd like to see how people do things and learn and talk to people. Before I started doing the stations, at the beginning of this year, I was like, I want to try that this year at some point, and I didn't really do it the first semester, but I talked to one of my teacher friends who actually used to work here. I'm still friends with her. I worked at the same tutoring center, actually, with her when I first moved here. I took her job because she got a middle school teaching job, but she teaches kindergarten now in Peachtree City, and she just stations all the time. She's like, that's all I do. Like, if I know where it's going to take maybe 10 minutes to teach this whole group, I'll do it then, but everything else is in stations. And she's like, I don't meet with it. So I just talked to her a lot. I talked to several different people. And so just taking on that within your teaching career, life, or whatever, is good. And then one of the things you mentioned in the one of the videos, I don't know which one it was, where you did some professional development and the teachers who like filmed each other and like
that was my last one. Yes.
That one, I think that kind of goes with this too. Like that's one way you can promote your own growth and then reach out to other people, because it doesn't have to be with another teacher. It can be someone with another school, or you can make this fit into standard probably 9. I think that was it. Yeah, 9 or 10 probably. Overall, I think you did a fantastic job. I mean, I think you're like, I gave you the don't overthink it post-it note thing. But I was like, oh, this is perfect. Don't overthink yourself. I think you're a great teacher, and I think you do a really good job when you're in classroom, and you've grown so much from the first time. If I want you to go back and watch all your videos, I want you to watch the very first one you've done, and I want to watch the one yesterday.
Cringeworthy, but okay.
But that's what because I want you to see the growth. Like yesterday, you were walking around, you were interacting with the students, you didn't spend all the time up there. You were more confident up there. And so my advice to you before you leave here is, it doesn't matter if the kids are just punks or they're middle schoolers. Mm-hmm. You're not, and just be confident in whatever you do, because you have those skills, and I think you can do it. It just takes being in your own classroom. And it's going to be great. You can put anything you want on the walls. My mentor teacher, one of them had the Save Your Drama for Your Llama poster.
And that's where you got the idea.
And I was like, when I get my own classroom, I'm going to get that one. And so that's the first thing I bought when I became a teacher. So that's a learn. I'm always learning. I'm still learning. And so just keep learning. Whatever you do, keep on learning. That's really cheesy.
But it's great. And thank you so much for everything.
You're welcome. I'm glad you got to come see my crazies this year, because
me too.
They are a hoot.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll never forget some of these kids. I remember some of my
No.
kids' names from my student teaching, and I just cringe. I think of them. But you'll never forget them, ever.
No, I'm not gonna forget them. They're the ones who told me goodbye that I'm not gonna forget.
You're really sweet.
Well, that's it for that.